What's up, nerds? Welcome to the DNA Podcast, the official podcast of the DNA Network. I am one of your hosts, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, is Joey Pease and Brian Anderson. What's up, guys?
Not a whole lot, man. Good to be here.
2 days till Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Very excited.
Too excited. I am, really, really excited.
Well, hopefully you don't get let down.
I know.
You lose the sleep over it?
I was thinking about it last night. Yes, I did lose sleep over it last night. I was laying in bed, and I was, uploading our DNA Reacts video to the trailers that came out that we did on Monday, and I was like, I really want to see the Star Wars trailer again. So I went on YouTube and looked up the Star Wars trailer. I'm like, man, this movie's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. And then IGN posted their review at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was like reading it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to go see this movie really bad. But anyways, let's get this show on the road. If you didn't know, this is the second episode of our rebooted podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, make sure you subscribe and share. Leave us a comment below and let us know how we're doing. Head on over to iTunes and rate us there too. Leave a comment, leave us some feedback. We want to know how we're doing and make the show better for you. You can also find the podcast on SoundCloud, Stitcher, and the Xbox Store. You can find all of our shows on digitalnerdadvocates.com or on YouTube. Just search the DNA Network. And check out our brand new online store on Redbubble. Search DNA Network, one word. And we're going to have some cool shirts going up soon. Joey, I showed you the really cool toast building a snowman.
Yes, I probably will have to get that one.
And it's an inside joke. Just watch Joey on Twitch. You'll understand. Twitch.tv/Hydro913. But with that said, we did the Golgoroth challenge mode in Destiny last week. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty interesting. I want to say it was almost easier than the War Priest, or at least just as easy.
I'd say it took more strategy than what the War Priest one did. We had to have it set up and have each person have certain numbers and whatnot, but actually executing it, I would say, it wasn't that difficult.
We've always struggled with War Priest for some reason.
I know.
I don't know what it is, but we've always done better at Golgoroth ever since in the hard mode and everything. We've always done better with that. So I'm not, like what Joey said, it did take more strategy, planning out before we went into it. But once you had it planned out, it was actually pretty easy to execute, like you said.
Yeah.
War Priest is just kind of a shit show.
Yeah.
Sometimes. There's so much stuff going on. It's so easy to die.
I feel like we in the raid overall, we do worse at the parts that should be easy and do really well at the parts that are hard. The sisters should be one of the easiest parts of the raid, and we die probably 10 to 12 times and try.
We make that part look hard. We make it look tough.
And
true.
Even the relay, someone's gonna fuck up on that relay, right before War Priest.
Well, it's been rather glitchy.
Yeah, that's
lately.
true.
So,
well, I know the one time the thing you pick up, the shield, it wasn't passing to the...
Yeah, it was...
Yeah,
I think it was on our side.
Me and your brother, It wasn't passing between us, and, that was an issue, but...
It's you were standing right next to each other when it should have passed, and it just reset, and it was it's really nothing we can do there.
Yeah. But overall, what do you think of this Destiny challenge mode so far? I think it's a little too simple, but it's interesting to think about what they could do after, if they reset, if they go back to challenge mode after Oryx this week, which we're going to talk about later in the show.
Well, I think anytime you can get a guaranteed 320, I'm going to be pretty happy. It'll keep me coming back, at least for the gear. The challenges themselves, it's fun because it just makes the raid that can become boring over time doing the same thing. Now you have to beat it this way. I think it's kind of cool, but I don't know if it's enough. Once you get all that gear, would you keep coming back? Mm-hmm. And I don't think I would.
Yeah.
And that's one thing it does do is it makes it so you can't have a couple people kind of carry the whole entire team, which that's kind of what I would see at least in the easy mode raids. A couple I've done in pickup groups, it's been a couple people pretty much do everything, and they have the other people just make sure they're firing at something.
Yeah.
And if these challenges make sure you at least have to know what you're doing. I had never known how to actually get the gaze from the Golgoroth fight, and that was something that I learned because of the challenge. You have to shoot him in the back, and he looks at you. That's something I had no idea that actually happened. So,
Corey, you didn't know how to get the gaze.
No, I did not. Patrick always gets the gaze.
I was telling Corey, all right, man, you got to shoot him in the back, and like he was over playing at my house, so I was watching on his screen. He's shooting at like the bottom.
I
of
was
his
shooting
back,
at his
like,
back.
You don't see that giant glowing part?
No,
like,
I did not see the giant glowing part. I was not paying attention. You said his back, not the hunch neck that he has. Okay.
You know, he's very sensitive about his hunch neck. So
hey, you know
that's
what?
Pretty mean.
Until I think I'm torn between dimensions when you throw a grenade at me, I think I'm just fine.
Maze, that's all you, buddy. Yeah, I stopped throwing that.
Yeah,
because he got so confused.
yeah.
So
yeah. every time, dude. I actually designed a shirt that's just gonna say "gaze" on it, and it's just gonna be like, it's cool. But anyway, doing the challenge mode, actually doing when we got not just the challenge mode, but the raid when I had to switch up into go up on the pillar and do the blessings, shoot the ogres. Like that was new, and I think that was pretty interesting. But
well, and I just want to touch on what like Joey was saying, that the challenge mode is more for a fire team instead of like a pickup team that you can do the normal. Even the hard raid now with the gear that everyone has, you can get you can pick a team up and do hard raid, the hard mode. But like this challenge mode, it's a lot of strategy.
You need a team that you play with all the time.
Yeah.
You need that communication and the skill of the players that you play with all the time. So it's interesting. I'm really confused on what they're going to do after Orcs this week.
I'm thinking that they're just going to start back over.
That's all they're going to do. They're not going to change up the challenge at all.
They may change up the challenge, but there's only so much you can do with each part. There's only so many moving parts. Oryx is the one that I said there's a lot of stuff you could play around with. The other ones, there isn't a lot, but we'll see what they do next week.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see them change the challenge up. I don't want to see the same challenge every week. I think that would get boring. But if they did something different, but like I said, anytime you're gonna get 320 stuff, you're guaranteed 320 stuff. I'm gonna come back for it.
Yeah. What else have you guys been playing outside of Destiny? Since that seems to be all we talk about now.
Well, I mean, I only play Destiny now on Wednesday nights. That's it. I just do the challenge mode. I don't even really get on that much on the weekends anymore. I've been messing around with Battlefront still, which I know I've talked about. I have fun with it. And then I finally platinumed Diablo. I finally went back and finished that off. I've always played it, but I never went and finished the last couple like trophies, get all the characters up to level 70, stuff like that. So I finally went back and did that.
Joey, what about you?
I've been playing Bloodborne in my free time most of the time, but even that I can only do for so long, especially with the old Hunters DLC. It's just too hard at some points to where I can only bang my head against the boss for so long and before I get frustrated. And then also Final Fantasy XIV, they just released a patch today actually, where their new like special weapon that you can get for each class is like, it's a real grindy kind of thing you have to do. I mean, you just have to work over time. So I did that today, and that's going to be something that's going to be taking up a lot of my time for the weeks to come. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll be into that. And also raiding, like I always do, because that Alexander Savage is just way too hard.
Yeah.
And so they're actually even talking about nerfing it because of how few people can actually get through it.
Really?
Yeah. And so they wanted to make it for like the hardcore top raiders, but it's hard for even like the top 1% of people in the game.
Really?
Yeah.
That, like, every time I turn it on, I feel like you guys are just wiping or keep dying and starting over. And like, I watched your stream for probably like an hour and a half the other night, and you guys did the same thing for an hour and a half. I'm like, this looks like this sucks. Like,
it's seriously the same fight for an hour and a half, and it's like 8 minutes. The same 8 minutes over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. It's better now because it used to be the same 4 minutes, and we weren't even get past that. So,
oh really?
The same 4 minutes for pretty much 2 hours, and then now we're at least getting like through most of the fight. We're getting to the final part of it, to where the final phase we're on is just repeating itself. So once we get that part down, we should be close to clearing. But this isn't even the final boss.
Yeah.
There's one more after this one. So
that's crazy. Like, okay, I understand it took us a while the first time we did the raids in Destiny, but like they got easier because we found out what to do. This just sounds like it's just hard.
Yeah. There's crazy mechanics that you make one little mistake, you die, and everyone else in your team can't recover because one person's down. Like, there's a lot of stuff on the ground you can't stand in, because if you stand in it, you're dead instantly. Then there's things you have to pass in between each other, and if you don't pass it in between each other right, then the healers can't heal, the DPS can't DPS, or the tanks die because when they get hit, they've got no shields. So it's just...
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So...
it's
Sign me up for that. Sign me up for that. That sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure though, like once you beat like something like that, I know like you being a Bloodborne player, and so you know what it's like to beat something really hard, and like how you feel after. It's like beating a raid in Destiny it's kind of like whatever, but beating something like that would be, I mean, just awesome. I think.
Yeah,
You can
especially if like
because there's so many people you can just
There's
be
some
like,
bragging
I'm
rights.
better than you.
There's some bragging rights right there.
yeah,
if you can
especially
beat
if only
that.
like 1 or 2% of people have beaten this. Like that, man. Speaking of less hard things, I did the sparrow racing in Destiny. It's whatever. I'm almost done with Tomb Raider. Man, that game's amazing. That might be one of my favorite games of the year. And Battlefront, just messing around in Battlefront. That game is like I liked it when we started playing. That game is like really, really growing on me. It's super fun.
It's a lot of fun. Like I said, not a lot of depth to it. I mean, but
No, it's definitely not for like the hardcore progressionist shooter like Call of Duty, but it is fun. It's like that good break from the stress of the raid from Destiny. Like it's fun.
It's funny because I use Destiny as a stress reliever from Final Fantasy.
Well, yeah.
Well,
It sounds like anything would be a stress reliever from Final Fantasy.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get into some news bits here. First off, speaking of Destiny, we're gonna talk about the microtransactions first. They added the microtransactions that basically you can buy an additional spark of light for a character, which at first didn't bother me until I read that it was $30 to buy a spark of light.
That blows my mind. The fact that, and it's only taking you to 25.
Yeah, I mean, if it was,
It's not even taking you to 40.
I mean that
It gives you a subclass boost too, doesn't it?
I believe it does.
Still, that's ridiculously priced.
Now,
for that,
and when I first saw it, I was like, oh, $30 for like 3 characters, like for
yeah,
all
that's what I thought it
3?
was. I thought you got 3.
Even then, I thought it was overpriced.
Yeah.
And then when I actually saw that it was for individual, each class is $30. I don't know who's gonna buy that. Honestly, just play the game.
yeah,
like-
especially because that's
You can-
25
you can-
get there in
You can get to 25 in like 6 hours.
Yeah,
you can
it's
play
not
through the
hard
story.
at all.
The story. If you play through the story of the Vanilla Destiny, Dark Below, and House of Wolves, you'll be at 25, and that's what 5-6 hours maybe.
I just don't know who sat in a room, like whoever decided this, and like, let's charge $30 for this.
I could see max level like give you up to 40, but even then, that $30 price tag.
$30 is so steep. Like
It's huge.
If it was gonna level you up to 40, I could see like $20, but this is 25. First of all, they shouldn't be charging you for it. Like they should.
Well, I mean, they're gonna charge you. For
no,
it. It's
but
a
like they already
microtransaction.
gave everybody a free one. Like
Well, it wasn't. It would you got it included with the expansion, so you paid for it.
Didn't
as
you
part
get
of that.
another one? Didn't you get like another one?
no,
somehow?
my cousin was saying, and I went on Reddit and read that there was a glitch in the 360 version. 360 version
No one plays
only.
on 360.
I know like 3 people that played on 360 still, but
It's 3 more than I know.
but like he got 3 of them. So, and like a lot of players on Xbox 360 were getting like 3 of them. So I don't know, but still, I think it should be $10 max.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
$10 max.
I'd say at most 10,
I think the
and
fact
that's only if it's including a subclass boost and the 25 spark of light.
yeah,
Only if it includes both of those. If it's just doing the spark of light,
$5.
$5 at most.
yeah.
Agreed.
It's I mean
I
that's
still wouldn't pay it.
I wouldn't either.
I have 3 characters, and I took them through back when the game first came out. I started out with like 3,
Yeah.
and just did them all the old-fashioned way.
yeah. I just play the game. Just play the freaking game. You'll get there and like you'll get there.
I mean,
But
people were saying like they'd even pay maybe that much for like an extra character slot. Like
yeah, I mean I would get an extra character
I could
slot.
see that, but like you're not even getting like that.
I wish there were more character slots.
Yeah,
too,
3 is kind of limiting, and it's like, really, is it really that hard for them to add a 4th one? Or
I would like an extra character slot
because I would like to mess around with another Titan. To be quite honest with you, like my hunter, slowly but surely grinding, but like I would like a 4th character spot just to mess around with. Like I don't know,
and especially because then if you had multiple like of the same characters, you run a Titan in the raid. You're going to need a Titan the second time through. You can hop on another Titan,
right?
Run through again, so that way you could at least be covered for all the.
Especially this raid, like like the other night when we did the challenge, we were struggling to find Titans, and I ended up having to switch back when we got to Oryx to try to beat the raid again. But like, yeah, that 4th character slot would really help.
Well, we also did a poor job. And the first time through, I think we had like 4 Titans. We probably should have realized it then.
Ran my Warlock first.
And I didn't think about it at the time, but I should have been like, we probably don't need 4 right now, So that's kind of our fault. But the first time that I went through Destiny, I ran with 2 hunters. I had 2 because that's back when you had to get the gear to level up. So I wanted to run. If I didn't get what I wanted, I could run the raid again. And that's how I got my my hunters up so quickly. So I had them leveled up almost by at least by the second week, always when it was based on gear, because I would be running it twice.
But anyways, staying on Destiny, Destiny teases the next 6 months of updates. Now they're saying that this Sparrow Racing is the first update, but in 2016. The next thing is going to be something small like Festival of the Lost, which is kind of like a throwaway thing for me. Another event-style thing with quests attached to it. But they said they're going to have an expansion.
It's supposed to be big.
A pretty big one. They said the biggest one since The Taken King came out, which, granted, that could be something twice as big as Sparrow Racing, and it would be bigger. But, like... I'm excited to see what that is. Like story missions, maybe a new raid. Like I'm pretty excited for that. I mean, what do you guys think Destiny is going to do with this?
Well, I'll be curious to see. If they'll put a new raid in. They're not going to put a new raid in and not have you pay for it.
I know. That was my thinking.
So if it's going to be something like Festival of the Lost, Sparrow Racing, which we're not paying for it. They're just giving it to us. There's no way they're going to put a raid in and not make us pay.
I mean,
so
if
unfortunately, I don't
keep
see
buying
that
these
happening.
Sparks of Light for $30, we might be.
Yeah, maybe with all this money they're making from the microtransactions, they'll think, oh, hey, we can go ahead and give them something bigger now.
Yeah.
If that's the case, buy those stupid Sparks of Light. Buy 4 of them. Whatever. I'm not buying one.
Yeah, I won't either.
You go ahead. If it's gonna get me a free raid, you buy it. Just get them all. Buy them up.
Like I first of all, I hate that they're calling Festival of the Lost an event. That was not an event. That was an aesthetic thing that they changed the tower and added some quests to it. I don't think that was an event.
Anytime they add quests, they're gonna call it an event.
Yeah.
Anytime they're adding an extra mission, it's an event. So to you and me, I hated Festival of the Lost. I didn't touch it. I thought it was stupid. But I know a lot of other people enjoyed it.
I could see them maybe making a couple more strikes at most. Maybe not adding a raid, but maybe adding a few more strikes.
I see that happening.
I could honestly see them restructuring Prison of Elders for year 2.
Oh, God. Oh.
Come on, Brian. Tell us how much you like Prison of Elders.
I hated Prison of Elders.
See, I never did it, so I don't have any hard feelings.
I remember taking... What was that bad guy's name? I can't remember his name.
Skolas?
Skolas. I took so many people through Skolas. Like, I'm sick of it.
Yeah,
I could never play Prison for the rest of my life. I took so many people through that to help them get it for that to complete. What were those called?
The year one.
The year
one. All that stuff. So many people were like, "Hey, can you take me through trials?" I took under-leveled people through it. Oh my gosh, it was terrible. But I did it. We did it. I got you through it.
Yeah.
I think you beat it with me a couple times.
I think I did it like 2 or 3 times with you because we took Isola through it. We took a couple people.
It was awful every time. Like it just wasn't fun.
Oh man, but I mean, I hope it's something big. The second event that they're talking about more, I hope it's something big. Like strikes are okay, but I want something more. I want to know what happened to the Queen and the Awoken. I want to know.
She did.
I don't think so, dude. I honestly don't think she is.
She's the queen. She's not dead yet.
Yeah, she's not.
She
dead.
got blown up. Did you not see that?
She made that little orb of ball that could have like sucked her in somewhere and transported her somewhere else.
She did.
I think she has Oryx powers. I think that she can get sucked in this ball
And
be
become
transferred
huge,
somewhere else.
ginormous like Oryx did?
No. But
She could probably teleport.
I don't know.
I mean, you know what? You guys make a good point because I didn't think she had powers at all.
Uh-huh.
And then to see her do that in that cutscene was like, oh shit. Like,
Yeah.
so maybe she is still alive.
I mean,
but-
there's a reason why she's the queen and people actually fear her, and fear her wrath.
Yeah, I mean,
because-
she got the Fallen to like follow her, and like that was a pretty big deal.
So, I mean, she's not dead yet. I don't think so, at least.
And then I also want to know what Eris's deal is, because at the end of the
Yeah.
story, she was like getting
She
ready to turn her back on everyone.
Yeah, Eris creeps me out.
Yeah,
It could be the crying of the black.
yeah.
What do you want to call that? Like tiered blood? What is that coming from her face?
Probably both. I don't know.
Well, yeah, coming from where her eyes
Like you
used to
should
be.
probably get that checked out. But
Yeah.
she like I would like more backstory into the characters in the tower and just like the cabal. The
Yeah.
enemies, like, I want to know why they're doing the things that they're doing, and they don't really ever tell you.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. 2016 for Destiny is going to be interesting because they came out with a bang with the Taken King, and then it just felt like nothing. Like they had so much momentum and then nothing. And like Sparrow Racing is not what this thing needs right now.
You don't like Sparrow Racing?
It's fine.
There's 2 maps.
It's-
Give us more than 2. Really? Like
I mean, Sparrow Racing's
you're done
fine.
you're done in like 10 minutes.
It's
and you
not
know
what
if
I'm playing Destiny for. It's a cool thing to take a break from like grinding and running the raid and doing Crucible and stuff. But
then
like,
you're just grinding Sparrow races.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I did one race, so and I was like, no, I'm good.
I'm trying to finish the quests attached to it. But like other than that, I don't care if it comes back or not. I don't care. I did get a cool helmet from it.
Well,
Though.
I mean, if I don't know, I would like another Crucible event, kind of like Iron Banner or something like that.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. Like not Iron Banner or Trials, but something new.
Something else.
But anyways, we're gonna move away from Destiny for a little bit because this is a show about other things. According to Nintendo of America's Director of Marketing, Scott Moffat, 3DS is here to stay. What do you guys think? Because people think that Nintendo's fading out Wii U and 3DS in favor of the NX.
I didn't think they weren't going to get rid of 3DS. That handheld, I think, has kind of kept them afloat maybe for a little bit.
Oh, definitely.
Without,
Dude,
the 3DS,
Wii
they
U
would be
is
in a lot of trouble.
Wii U has sold just over 10 million units in 3 years. I mean,
Yeah.
that's awful. That's worse. They just passed Dreamcast.
Ooh,
And
that's not
Dreamcast was out for what, a year and a half?
good. That's not good.
So
I didn't think 3DS was going anywhere.
I mean, I kind of did because the rumor of NX, it's supposed to be the handheld console hybrid that everybody wants, and it's what I want. Like, it's going to be what PS4 and Vita do, but like quote unquote better because it's going to be like a controller. You know, I think it's going to be similar to the Wii U gamepad, but portable and like hopefully smaller.
You don't want to carry that big thing around with you?
No, dude, that thing is a piece of crap. I'm sorry. I love Nintendo. I've said it many times on our old shows and like on Let's Plays and stuff. I love Nintendo. And Brian, I know you feel the same way, but the stuff that they're putting out now is just junk.
The games are bad.
I mean, not the games aren't necessarily bad, but
I think
like
the games are bad.
the tablet is a piece of crap. That controller is a
You don't
piece
like
of
the
crap.
gamepad?
No. The only thing I like it for is off TV play, which is cool if I had a game to play on it.
That's what I'm saying, because the game's not very good.
It's
They're
not
not
that
putting
they're
out
not
enough.
putting out any games. Like, okay, Xenoblade's just came out, which I'm not getting it till Christmas. I don't think that supports gamepad play, like off TV play, because you need the gamepad for your inventory crap.
Yeah, it's not going to support it.
You know, the next game coming out that I'm looking forward to is Twilight Princess HD, and then the new Zelda. I mean, next year for Wii U is looking kind of strong. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I think it's the strongest year it's had since its like second year on the market, with Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem, Star Fox, 2 Zelda games, Mario Galaxy Wii U remake is rumored, and there's a couple other games coming out somewhere in there, but
It's
like
a lot stronger lineup than they've had.
yeah, I mean this year we had Kirby, we had the best game that was released this year was Super Mario Maker and Splatoon were the two big games that came out, and that's it. They were riding on Mario Kart DLC, Smash DLC, and its back catalog this year. So yeah, 3DS has carried Nintendo since what 3 years into the Wii life cycle.
It's been.
I want to say
it's been a while.
Yeah, something like that.
so. In one hand, what does that mean for this hybrid console if 3DS is staying?
Maybe it's not the console we think it's going to be. Maybe it's handheld isn't as.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess, okay, I like my 3DS. Don't get me wrong. I love 3DS. But, like, I'm almost thinking it's almost run its course.
The 3DS has?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, handheld devices are always going to be popular.
Yeah.
Are they saying the original 3DS or the new 3DS? Because are they gonna start releasing games specifically for the new 3DS like they did with Xenoblade? Or are they...
I mean, that's the only game that's out for the new 3DS.
Right.
Exclusively.
That's exclusive for
there's
it.
a couple. There's
games.
a couple other ones I think I saw that were coming that are going to be exclusive to the new.
I mean, if
3DS.
that's the case, then okay. If you're just going to keep implementing your hardware and make it better, like our phones, then yeah, I could see it staying for a while. But I mean, if they're just talking about 3DS in general, then like, I kind of think that's not. I don't know.
It's tough.
Here's what the original article says. It says Nintendo won't be abandoning its current line of handhelds anytime soon. According to VP of Sales and Marketing Scott Moffat, Nintendo 3DS is here to stay. Moffat discussed the company's commitment to the handheld in an interview with the Washington Post, citing the device's continued success, noting that so far in 2015, sales of the family of the 3DS hardware in America are actually ahead of last year's pace, which is surprising considering. Well, no, it's not.
When did they come out with the new 3DS? That just came out like.
It came out in March with Monster Hunter and Majora's Mask,
which both were actually very good games.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed. I love Monster Hunter on my 3DS. I really like playing that game, and Majora's Mask played very well.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they had 2 Zelda games come out this year. They had Mario Tennis and Mario Golf came out this year.
Yeah,
like
Monster
it's
Hunter.
had a pretty strong lineup.
It had a better lineup than the Wii.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, better games came out for the 3DS.
Yeah.
So I don't know why and it sounds like it's doing pretty good. I like mine. I like having a handheld device. I like it better than the Vita.
Yeah.
Especially because I could get Smash Brothers on the 3DS too. That was the original reason why I got a 3DS was Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I like Smash on my TV, but
Mine was Ocarina of Time. That's why I got one.
Yeah, I think I got it for Ocarina of Time and Star Fox were the two that I got. Because remember, we used to play Star Fox multiplayer.
That was fun.
That was fun. But I don't know. I think that what's going to happen is the NX is going to be the hybrid console we want, and it's going to do the Game Boy Advance thing where, remember when Game Boy Advance and GameCube like linked together, and then they showed off the DS, and they said they were going to run that 3-pillar system, and then the DS took off, and then they just totally canceled the
just kind of
Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I think that the 3DS is their like fallback plan. Like they're still going to develop games for it, and if the NX doesn't work out, which if it doesn't, Nintendo's in trouble. I'm sorry, NX needs to work, and Nintendo's in trouble. But I think that's kind of where 3DS is at.
Which could be. I mean, just because they say it's not going away doesn't mean it's going to be their primary focus point.
Yeah.
So it could just be, they're going to make... I mean, because it's probably similar... It's going to be similar to whatever they're going to try to do handheld-wise for the NX if they are doing that. So I feel like kind of maybe developing for both of them isn't going to be that big of a stretch. Yeah. So if they're willing to do that, then, they'll constantly release games for the 3DS that'll work... okay, but might not be as good as what they do for the NX. So,
yeah, I don't know, but I mean, I like the 3DS. I think it's gonna either fail because of the NX, or the NX is gonna fail, and this is gonna
I mean, really, is it really failing anymore? If it's because it's run its course. It's done perfectly fine for
that's true
a few years now, and I mean,
yeah, I guess
you can only expect it to go. So
I guess
well
55 million units isn't anything to sneeze at,
right?
Staying on Nintendo though, the final Nintendo Direct of the year was focused on Super Smash Bros., revealing Bayonetta, in addition to characters including Cloud, Bayonetta, and a Fire Emblem character, all getting amiibo. I forget who the Fire Emblem character is. Corrin from Fire Emblem. They're all getting amiibo, which you won't be able to find. First of all, we didn't really talk about this. What do you guys think about Cloud being in Smash Brothers?
I like it.
I think it's great.
I really like it.
I think it's really cool. I think that means that the Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming to NX also.
Could be.
I mean, I think that's a strong indication if you're going to put Cloud in the Smash Brothers game.
Yeah.
I mean, considering he's never appeared on a Nintendo console in a Final Fantasy game. I think he was in the Kingdom Hearts Game Boy Advance game. But other than that, he hasn't even appeared on a Nintendo console, let alone Final Fantasy VII.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah. So, I think it's cool. I think he fits extremely well. I think his character design fits well. I think his moves and his weapons fit well. I think it's a good fit. The one that really doesn't really fit is Bayonetta. I don't think Bayonetta really fits this game.
Really?
I mean,
why do you say that? I felt like people were excited about that.
I mean, I didn't say I wasn't excited. I just feel like she doesn't fit in Smash. The same way people were excited for Snake in the Wii version, but he didn't really fit in the way Smash is structured. I don't know. I could be wrong. I haven't played as Bayonetta. The game was fun. Bayonetta proper was fun, but I just think someone like Shovel Knight or something like that would have fit better.
I could see how
she's the game.
Yeah, I guess her game is completely different tone than any other of the games or the characters in that game. So it is kind of she's kind of a different character, but I think that's kind of a good thing because if Smash will open up to accepting different characters like that, then they can start, going across plenty different games and choosing between tons of different characters. Then,
yeah.
So that way it's not just the same characters each time, and they're stretching to find other characters that end up being the same exact thing as. As they have Ness and Lucas, they're pretty much the same character, different skins. So it's instead of having the same characters back in Marth and Lucina, because it's they kind of run out of characters they can use. If they start opening up to taking in characters like Bayonetta, it's
not just a palette swap of different characters.
Right. It makes it so they can actually open up to new characters and different combat styles and that kind of thing. So I think it's a great direction that they're taking with this. And that's what there was one thing that people were pointing out is that when they brought in Snake, they didn't include any guns with him. The only things he used were his explosives and whatnot. So it's kind of they were kind of leery about trying to bring in different guns and that. But with Bayonetta, they're letting her use her guns and everything on her, her pistols from.
She's got all 4 of her guns.
Yeah,
I saw,
yeah. So it's they're kind of not making it so, G friendly. So it has to, you can't be violent, and they're letting it go be a little bit more violent. I mean, it's a fighting game.
Yeah.
I understand you don't have to, spew blood and guts all over the place, but it is a fighting game. So I mean, I think it's a good direction.
I'm gonna agree with Joey. I don't think putting yourself in a box and saying okay, we're only gonna put these certain characters in the game. I don't think that's good. A lot of different people play this game, and people who play Bayonetta probably play Smash. And if you like that game, why wouldn't you want to play as her in that game? So it's not like everyone who plays Smash only plays Mario or Zelda. They play a bunch of different ones, and they want to see different characters. I know people were upset that Shovel Knight didn't make it. I know that was a big one that people wanted, but I agree with him that I think this is a good addition. And her moves look like they transitioned well. Because I saw a video of them, they looked very cool, and it looked like they fit.
I haven't watched it, but to your guys' point, thinking outside of Smash, I feel like this may be Nintendo reaching out to the older audience. First of all, by publishing Bayonetta 2, reaching out to our age group, and then adding her here. and then maybe exploring with the NX like for our age group. I feel like everything they're doing now is prepping us for a future Nintendo where like they're just going to expand out and bring in like, you know, I was listening to Giant Bomb, and we're going to get into this in a question later. Today I was listening to Giant Bomb, and they said Nintendo, we love Nintendo because they're weird and quirky.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they need to be weird and quirky, but do the same thing that PlayStation and Xbox are doing at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think that this may be like one little step in that direction to where they're opening themselves up to being more like PlayStation and Xbox, but, you know,
still having
the
side.
Nintendo side of them. So I'm a little surprised Bayonetta was the winner of the Smash ballot, but at the same time, it's exciting that people are recognizing this character exists. So,
except for all the people who are angry about it now, though. The social justice warriors.
It didn't matter who won. Somebody was going to be angry.
Yeah, I know.
I
know. But it's just it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how sensitive people are becoming about things like that. It's a video game character. Like, I understand she's, you know, kind of a over-sexualized kind of looking character, but it's like, come on. I mean, we have Zero Suit Samus. People got a little bit upset about that, but they let it slide after a while. It's like, really, just calm down. It's a game.
Yeah, I agree. That stuff is so ridiculous. I don't even like, whatever. Get over it, dude. Like, suit. Who cares? She wears a skin-tight suit and fights bad guys. Big deal. Who cares? We're going to move away from Nintendo, and these last two are pretty interesting, especially the last story. But this first one we're going to talk about, Diablo 3's new zone is detailed. I know you guys are both huge Diablo players.
Yeah.
Are you guys excited? What do you like about this?
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't think this is going to be like a new act. I don't think it's just going to be like a new area, which they released. They sorted this with the last patch. I can't remember what the area was called when they released like the cube and that stuff.
See, I haven't played since I think.
Well, they released
beginning of season
and it wasn't
2.
even a new area. It was just like a part of a map, like that you can go to. It wasn't even a full new map. I'm more excited about the new sets. They're going to have new armor sets coming out, and I think I'm more excited for that. Anytime you add more gear, I get all excited.
So just because it opens up options to so many different builds, and
that's what I like.
That's so great.
I always play as the Demon Hunter. That's my favorite, and I've gotten all the armor sets that you can get pretty much, and I've played different. I always change my build up. I get a little bored.
Yeah,
I really want different builds. Is really what I want. So this is opening this up. The map looks cool. It's a island off of Westmarch. It looks like, and it's like rainy and broken down, and it just looks kind of cool. New enemies look great too. I don't know if you've seen them, but
I watched the one trailer video for it, and it seemed pretty cool from that. But Diablo's definitely something I'm gonna have to jump back into because it's been one of my passions for a while. Ever since I got Diablo 2, I don't know how long.
Same here. Yep,
Diablo
2 was the best.
I just got bored of Diablo 3 after a while because it was like I got to the point where I could beat it on the hardest difficulty. I got through the greater rifts up to like level 40 something, and it was like there really wasn't much else for me to do because I had all the gear I could have possibly gotten, had like the best rolls I could have, and I even had it for like 4 different builds because I played the Crusader, so I had like at the time like the 4 most popular builds you could do and all the gear for that. So it was like I know which ones I like to play. I could play them all, and it was like I had nothing else to do anymore.
So this will be nice then for you.
Yeah,
you get those new sets
and different builds and different changings of things, and to be definitely something that'll be fun to get back into.
I'm excited to jump in because I'm getting it for Christmas. So.
Oh, you're jumping in late.
Yeah, I don't care. You'll play it with me.
Oh,
you know you're gonna play it with me.
That's one thing. I have it for PC, though, so it's like you're getting it for PlayStation, right?
Mm-hmm. You think I'm going to play it on that thing?
No, but...
I wish I had a computer to play it on. I always liked it better. I mean, it did transition well to the console. Yeah. I have to say I was really surprised because I was a little worried when they said it was coming out. PC games don't always do well on consoles. And this, I thought, plays pretty good, considering.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as good as the PC, but...
I actually built my PC originally for Diablo 3.
I don't blame
was
you.
when I did it.
Yeah, that's cool.
A month before Diablo came out. I was like, all right, I need a PC that can play this game. So
Nice.
scrounged out the money I had and built one.
All right, our last news story just came out recently. I added it to the list late. Kojima starts his new studio, an independent studio, and makes a deal with Sony to produce a Sony exclusive game. With Kojima Productions retained, I think they said like something like 85% of his original staff. We all knew this was coming. I'm surprised that I'm not surprised that Sony got the deal, but I'm surprised they're the only ones that, tried to get the exclusive. I mean, I saw some tweets that said, did Xbox even pick up the phone and try to call Kojima?
You would hope that they would realize the potential here. Mm-hmm. But Sony wins again.
I mean, Sony's in such a good place that they're just going to give him as much money as he needs to produce a game, and people will buy it at this point. Yeah. I mean, the success of Metal Gear, which I wasn't interested at first, but now that like this game is, everybody's saying this game is amazing. Like I asked for it for Christmas. I'm thinking I'm going to get it for Christmas, but I really want to play it. And I haven't played Metal Gear since Metal Gear Solid 2 on PS2 was the last one I played. So, but anything Kojima touches is like prints money. It's golden. Like everybody loves everything he does from Metal Gear. Everybody loves Zone of the Enders that's played it. There's a couple other smaller games.
Zone of the Enders was probably my favorite PlayStation 2 game I ever played.
Yeah. And so I think this is a monster get for Sony. It is coming to PC as well. So don't fret, PC players, but Xbox is kind of left behind with this, which seems to be a trend.
I feel like Xbox just doesn't want to play with anyone else. They're like to the point where like we need to be all big and bad by ourselves and we can't cooperate to do anything. Mm-hmm. So it's like they kind of screw themselves over in the end because they don't want to. I don't know. I mean, it just seems like if they would be open up and kind of deal with the competition a little bit, they would be in a much better place. But they kind of just.
Yeah, I feel like Xbox, that's why Final Fantasy 14 didn't come to Xbox One, because they don't want their Xbox One servers to play with PC and PS4. I mean, Rocket League is another example that, Xbox One only can play with Xbox One, whereas PS4 and PC are cross-platform.
Yep.
And I don't know. I just think Microsoft dropped the ball by not trying to get at least a piece of this from Kojima, because this is a game that's going to sell PlayStations later down the line.
I have a feeling the first game that they put out is going to be very good.
Yeah. Oh, I have no doubt.
I'm sure he wants to give the middle finger to a specific company, and I think he will do it with this first game.
Oh, I do too. What do we think this game's going to be?
I don't know what he's going to want to do with this first one, but I just have a feeling it's going to be big.
Yeah. I hope it's not. The one thing I hope it's not is a Metal Gear clone.
True.
I don't think he'll do that. I really don't.
Oh, I don't know.
Or if it is a Metal Gear clone, if it comes out the same time as Konami's planning Metal Gear 6, that it just totally one-ups Metal Gear 6.
Well, that would be funny and poetic justice, in my opinion.
Yeah. So that's all the news we have. There aren't very many new releases this week because it's the end of the year. Minecraft is finally coming to Wii U.
No gamepad support.
I don't care.
Doesn't make sense. That blows my mind.
I
feel like that would make it special.
Wii U is built for Minecraft.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And they're just like, no, we don't want to do that.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
They just can't do anything right.
I don't know. It does support USB keyboards, party chat, and there's something else. Oh, off TV play, which is cool, I guess. But out of all the games for Wii U that support headset chat, it's Minecraft.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, I don't
Splatoon
know.
doesn't, Smash doesn't, Mario Kart doesn't.
Well,
Minecraft does.
I could see not Smash. There'd be a lot of angry yelling at people.
Yeah, I can see why Smash hasn't, but Mario Kart.
The Mario Kart I could see. Splatoon, I don't know, I haven't played, so...
Splatoon is
I
a
feel
game
like you would need it.
Yeah.
It needs coordination. Like that.
It's like, okay, let's play Destiny, but you can't use your headsets.
Yeah, God,
Good luck.
that'd be awful. That would be terrible. That'd be terrible. But other than Minecraft, Republic Episode 4 is coming to PC, iOS, and Android, which I wasn't going to put this down, but this game is in its entirety is coming to PS4 and Vita next year, and it's like a Telltale game mixed with.
Love Telltale.
It's more like Life is Strange. Like it's a storytelling game, but you can like actually play the game and like the camera view is fixed. You're viewing the character that you're playing as through security cameras from the narrator is spying on your character through these security cameras, and you have to escape certain areas, which kind of looks really cool. But that's it for new releases this week. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we have a couple topics that we're going to talk about. We're going to answer your reader questions. We're going to talk Star Wars Episode 7 predictions, since this is the last episode we record before Episode 7 comes out. So this is the last time we are all going to be able to be speculative of the entire future of Star Wars. Because after we see it, we're going to know sort of where the movie's heading, or the franchise is heading as a whole, where Luke is, what happens to our characters, and stuff like that. And we're also going to talk about our favorite game of the year. So when we come back, we'll talk about all that. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back, and we're going to talk about Destiny. We're going to answer some of your questions, and then we're going to move into Star Wars, which we're going to answer your questions there. There were some pretty good ones, so we just kind of decided to make Star Wars a topic since we're 2 days away from The Force Awakens. So we have a few Destiny questions. CodFanFF asked us, what do you guys think about the challenge mode, and what would you like to see from the future of challenge mode?
I feel like we kind of talked about that earlier.
I feel like we did too.
That, like I said, if you're giving me a guaranteed 320, I'll play it. The challenges are fun for now, but it's going to get pretty stale if they don't change it.
I think the challenges need to change each time they go back to a new, like, each time they go back to War Priest, it needs to be a new challenge. Like, I think the challenges need to be switched up in order to keep me severely interested longer than like another month of this.
Why does it have to be a boss that gets the challenge mode? Like, why can't you do it at like the relay or something like that?
They could.
You know what I mean? Or at the very beginning, that very first thing you do, why can't there be a challenge mode for that?
That's true. I mean, I think they did the bosses maybe because of the calcified fragments attached to them.
The bosses make sense to do first, but there's a lot of parts in this raid that you can add a challenge mode. You could add a challenge mode for the jumping platforms.
Yeah.
You know, like completely different, change up the ship patterns, you know, make it difficult, like very difficult. So, wouldn't that be fun, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great. It'd be great.
As long as I'm on my Warlock, I'd be able to get through it. When I try the Hunter jumps,
Hey, they now have year 2 bones. So,
I need to get those.
And I ended up getting them. You know how much I love those. Just for the raid. That's the only time I ever wear them. But
the only exotic boots I got were Titan exotic boots. And it's like, really?
The
I don't even have a Titan. Yeah. It's why would
I
they
hate
give
when
me
they do
this?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got both the Hunter ones. And that's how I don't even think the Warlock has exotic boots.
They showed off some at some point, but they haven't. I don't think they're
bringing them.
They're not released yet.
I don't think they're out
They're not
yet.
released
They're
yet.
the only class that doesn't have any.
They're like
They got a bunch of chess pieces.
transverse steps or something like that. I think is what they're called.
I mean, every class should have one. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know. But one thing I was talking to Joey about the break, I would like to see them add challenge mode to the other raids. Like,
That could be cool, but then how do you do the drops?
that was the issue we were talking about. We don't know how they would
That's
do
what
the
I was
drops.
saying. They're either going to have to bring like that raid gear up to 320 level, or
That would be cool. I don't like, because you were able to do that back during House of Wolves with the, what was that stuff called where you could level it up?
The etheric light.
Etheric light, yeah. They came out with the etheric light, and you were able to get up that gear to where you needed to be.
Yeah.
Be cool if they did that again. It wouldn't have to be 320 because it's not the newest raid, but
I just think it would be cool if they made those raids harder and they would drop 320 stuff because it would make those raids viable again.
I mean, if you can get 320 stuff from Sparrow Racing, you should be able to get it from like any raid.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
with a challenge mode.
People beat Crota with the DDR mat now. They did that one too.
Just get that Rock Band drum kit out of here. Get the DDR mats out of here. Get your
I think that stuff's cool. Like,
get your Oculus Rift head shaking out of here. That's gonna be the next one. Like, just get that crap out of here.
I don't have time to like figure that stuff out, but I like to watch that stuff.
Get your modded Wii remotes out of here.
Like, there are some freaks, that's for sure.
Okay, we kind of talked about this next one too a little bit, but Kyle asks, where do you think the next expansion will take us, and what's the story going to be about, and will it be enough to keep people playing and bring people back? Yes, it will be enough to keep people coming back if they add a significant story chunk, at least for a little bit.
You know what I want. I've been saying it for a long time. I want something with the Cabal. That's it. Give me that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more about, I don't know, the stranger and the darkness supposedly that, you know, she uses or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, basically the story that should have been in like the vanilla game.
Yeah, I want to know what's going on.
I gave up on that.
There's like 4 paths now that I would like to see the story go. I want to know Eris. I want to know about the stranger. I want to know about the Queen and the Awoken. Like, if she's the only Awoken alive besides the 5 million Awoken Guardians. And the Cabal. I want to know more about the Cabal.
See, I think that they should finish Eris' story in this expansion because they introduced the whole entire, a big chunk of that story. I think that's something they should eventually add on. Maybe not necessarily as another part of a raid, but at least just finish that story.
Well, we've had Eris' story now in 2 DLCs.
Yeah.
And you still really don't know what the hell's going on with her.
Yeah, so they need to finish that. And then, maybe save the Stranger for Destiny 2 or the Cabal. Maybe that raid would be the big raid for Destiny 2 or whatever game/expansion comes out in September.
Well, I'd like to see some new enemies. If they're coming up with a straight-up Destiny 2, there needs to be new, races.
Yeah. Speaking of Destiny 2, that rumor about Destiny 2 Shattered Sun, what does that mean? Is that our sun? What if that pushes us out into the solar system and into other solar systems? That concept art we saw from original Destiny from Neptune and, the snow planet, the snow enemies. Where's all that? I want to see that stuff.
Snow, yeah, that stuff could be cool. I mean, who knows what they're going to do?
Yeah.
Bungie does.
Is Bungie allowed to have...
I don't even think Bungie knows what they're doing.
Bungie doesn't even know.
Is Bungie allowed to have more than 3 or 4 different types of enemies? Is that usually what they usually have?
Yeah, you're right. They hit their max.
Halo,
that's all we got.
The Grunts, the Elite, the Brutes, and the Jackals?
Well, I mean...
Were those the big guys? What were the giant dudes?
The Brutes. Well, then there was the Hive.
Hive's Destiny.
Or not the Hive, the Flood.
Oh,
that's
the Flood.
That's
the Flood doesn't count.
The Flood doesn't count. They're infected.
The Flood definitely counts.
They don't count as the Covenant, the 4 races of the Covenant.
The Fallen are like the Covenant. The Brutes, the Cabal are like the Brutes, and the Flood is like the Hive. So I was I guess they have the Vex now. So I guess that's they're going up. They're going one
They've
above.
They've stepped their game up.
Yeah, they went one more enemy above.
The Vex are kind of like the Elites, though. They're kind of like that middle.
That's kind of true.
That middle,
but the robotic.
Yeah. Our last Destiny question comes from William Collin. What do you think of only getting a shader from the 50 fragments, or do you think there will be a quest that unlocks after the challenge mode is completed?
I mean, what did you want with it? I like shaders.
I just want gear.
Well, I mean,
they can't really give us another touch of malice.
And that's my point. You got the touch of malice for 45,
right? It was cool that they gave that to you at 45, and I think the 50 was just if you really want to complete everything, you can get all 50, and here's a little bit extra. I mean, it was going to be unreasonable to have everyone get all 50 to get that exotic weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because that would mean you would have had to do the challenge modes then before you could.
You kind of need
like,
the touch of malice for the challenge modes.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, it's, I guess, I mean, I understand people want a little bit more, but then...
I still think that Bungie's holding something back after you get all 50 calcified fragments. Like,
they could have another quest.
I think there's an exotic quest coming after this, to be quite honest with you. Maybe not touch of malice hard, but like something that, you know, will reward players for getting all calcified fragments.
I don't think so.
I mean, I do. I mean, if they're going to trickle out missions, I think this would be the perfect time to trickle out a new mission after the first of the year. If you have all 50 calcified fragments, they're going to give you a mission for an exotic weapon because you got all calcified fragments from the raid.
They're going to give us an exotic sidearm because we don't have one yet.
Oh my gosh, if that's what it
Dreg's
is.
Promise from year 1 is a sidearm that's exotic. That one was sweet.
No, it was not. I watched you use it.
It was pretty bad. It was an awful.
Speaking of year 1 exotics, when we were doing Prison of Elders the other day to grind for strange coins, I got Queen Breaker's bow.
I mean, I had fun with that weapon. I would like to see that as a year 2. I would like to see more year 1s turn into year 2s.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's not really that hard to do that either. Like, make a year 1 weapon into a year 2. I feel like
I can't imagine it is.
They could have just added a
file
bunch
save
of
as year 2. That's what it is.
I was happy with the ones that they brought over.
But I feel like they just don't bring that many over at a time. And it's like I don't even play Destiny that a whole lot. And I already have all of the Warlock exotics, except for now I'm missing one of the helmets because they brought in a new one. And I had all of the hunters except for 2. And I had every weapon except for, I think, Thunderlords. And, like, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I think I talked about how I pretty much had all the exotic gear for almost all the classes after that 3 coins exploit during that week. I was, like, pretty much done then. And then I had most of the weapons.
I mean,
now,
even,
I'm almost there.
I didn't even do that exploit that much. I did it, like, for maybe like 3 exotics when it was there because I didn't have a whole lot of strange coins. And so like me being able to get all of these exotics without playing that much is kind of like, well,
I mean,
they could have given us
We've
more.
had a whole show on this. Like, that's what made year 1 exotic so special.
Yeah, and I think I talked big on this. This is one of the big problems with year 2 is it's too easy to get stuff.
Yeah.
It's like they're handing you stuff, and then it makes me not want to play. Like, I know we just talked about Diablo a little bit, but you keep going back and doing those rifts because you want that gear.
Right.
If you would have got all that gear in 2 rifts, I mean, what's the point?
That's what I played it a lot until I got the gear. Once you get the gear, it's kind of like, well,
and that's kind of how Destiny
I don't really have
is.
to
Like,
do anything to do anymore. And that's
Right.
what Destiny made it so easy to get that gear that it's like now you don't really have much to do anymore besides wait for challenge mode to come out, get the 320 then, and then be done with it.
and then be done for the week again. Yeah, I mean, it just gives you no reason to go back and want to play the raids to try to get, like, I don't know how many times I ran Atheon because I wanted that Galahorn, and I would keep playing it and keep playing it to
Should
try
have
to
just
get
waited
it.
to run Prison of Elders like I did.
You know, I did run Prison of Elders, and I'm trying to think you know how every time you run through it, like the first time you're guaranteed an exotic? And yours happened to be the Galahorn, you little bitch. But mine, I'm pretty sure I got, like,
My first
no
one with my
Lambion.
Warlock was Queen Breaker's bow.
You got Queen Breaker's, like, they just gave it to you?
Yeah.
It's set up like that
Yeah.
now?
Did I not get it? Joey was with me.
That's weird that it drops, because before you had to, like...
You had to do the Elder Cipher bounty.
Crap. Yeah, so I guess, I mean, you just have the golden asshole, I guess. Yeah, I think I got, like, a 4th Horseman and no Lambion and a Dragon's Breath. Like, that's what I got every time I did Prison of Elders with my 3 characters. Like, those are the 3 I got now.
Yeah.
I didn't get no Galahorn until... I don't remember when I got it. I got it like a month before they nerfed it.
Yeah.
That's like when I got it.
Yeah. You got it like 2 weeks before they sold it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Joey?
I've never gotten a Galahorn.
Oh, well.
But I mean,
You don't need it
it's,
now.
Yeah, now it's kind of like meh.
Text your brother back. Community question. We kind of already answered this too. What would make Nintendo be your primary console again, and what do you want for the future of Nintendo? Now, I think we're all in the same boat where we were all like Nintendo kids growing up.
Yeah.
Right? And then
yeah.
and then when we got older, we transitioned to PlayStation. I know we transitioned to PlayStation 2. You know, Joey, I don't know what you had. Did you what Xbox? I'm assuming.
Xbox was the first one I got, yeah.
So, and like I got a GameCube and I loved my GameCube, but we transitioned to PS2 because it had like not the so much kiddie games, but like
the reason I played PS2 is for Kingdom Hearts. So
yeah,
I guess.
so like Nintendo will always hold special places in our hearts, but it's not the company that we want it to be anymore.
Right. Now that we're older, I mean, it's like we want to play more complex games.
And I think that's the big thing when you're a kid.
And that's the only reason why we buy Nintendo now is because we want Zelda and Metroid, and those are the most complex games.
If you go back and you play your Super Nintendo games like that we played and we love so much, they're still fun, but like they're pretty simple.
Yeah.
Like there's not much to this, and like that's not enough for us now.
Like don't get me wrong, Mario's platforming is very challenging, but it's not like Diablo or like something like that. We want that aspect.
Or we want so much content now.
Yeah.
We want a good story and graphics and gameplay, and we've been so spoiled with things that they've come out with now.
Yeah.
That like Nintendo's still trying to put out these simple games, and it's just not enough for us anymore. I think that's so I don't know how they can fix it. They need to start coming out with these complicated games.
Yeah, like I think they could take Zelda and make that like that's probably what their most complicated game, and it's still relatively simple to what we play today. The dungeon puzzles are hard, but we can't upgrade gear. Like that you get 3 swords. You get the one that you start with, and then you pull the master sword out of the stone, and that's the one you get, and then you can go get the big Goron sword if you want. Like that's how you upgrade, but you can't like add pieces to your sword. You can't like make a better shield. You can't add material to your shield to make it stronger. Like
there's no customizing your combat style. There's no way to change how you play the game. It's pretty much you're playing as Link that one way. You're always supposed to use certain things at certain points to where you're not changing.
Yeah, everyone beats that game the same way.
Yeah.
Like you can't do it
the dungeon is
you play through once and you can't go back. I mean, you will go back through later because it's a fun game, but it's like it's the same game, same experience.
And that's kind of what I'm hoping from this new Zelda. But with older Zeldas, there's a dungeon designed around using the bow and arrow. There's a dungeon designed around using the hookshot, and that's how you beat that dungeon. And like Nintendo's promising this with Zelda, but what else do they have? They don't have the third-party support that Xbox and PlayStation obviously have, and they don't have these complex games that we like to play now. So what's going to get you back on board to have Nintendo as your primary console, or just even a console to have in your house?
I'm saying it'll probably never be my primary console anytime. Like you can't, because a big thing is like playing online with people and being able to talk to them while you play online is also very helpful. Like they just don't have that kind of stuff. It'll never be my primary console, even if NX is what you think it's going to be.
Even if like NX came out with like Destiny 2 and they had like you could transfer your PlayStation character over and they had NX exclusive gear.
No. Exclusive gear has never really pulled me in.
I don't know. See, the only reason I wanted a PlayStation was for very specific tweaks and quirks of different things I had, because I play Final Fantasy 14. You could play that on the PlayStation as well. My phone I have can actually link it. I can play it like a Vita pretty much if I'm connected to Wi-Fi. I can play games on my phone for my PlayStation. So the only reason I actually got a PlayStation was for like the small little things I have. Granted, I'm really happy that's the system I went with. I don't know if I'd ever... I mean, so for me, I guess switching to Nintendo wouldn't be really a hard thing for my console choice. So if Nintendo did come out with something that was superior hardware-wise, they had the third-party game support that PlayStation and Xbox is kind of like offering, to the point where they actually are a contender there, then yeah, I would seriously consider. But it's just the fact that right now, like the only thing they release is Nintendo games. It's like... It's really hard for me to say I want to get a Nintendo system so I can play these games, especially because most of the time to play with your friends, it's a pain to try to get that actually working. There's these friend codes. You have to add your friend by entering these 16-digit codes or whatever. You can't just search for them. You can't even like chat with them anyway at all. Like you can't send messages, at least not easily, or anything. So I remember when I did play games with my friends, I was on my computer in TeamSpeak talking with them, playing like Monster Hunter together. So it was like, we had to use some other, means of interaction to make sure we could play these games together. So it's just like, there isn't that enough there for me to be able to go there and just make that my console of choice.
Yeah. What if they had like a Zelda Bloodborne game?
They'll never go there.
No, because, I don't know.
They made Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah,
See,
and that was still pretty kid-friendly.
The thing about Bloodborne is that they add that, the complexity and the different styles of, like, the weapons and whatnot. I mean, and that's one of the reasons I really like Monster Hunter. If they came out with a Monster Hunter game for the system, I would probably buy, like, their NX system with the Monster Hunter game. And I'd probably play that a lot, but I wouldn't consider it my main console.
Yeah. I don't know. I could almost argue that Wii U honestly was almost my primary console this generation, but like Nintendo has this problem where they're stuck in the time before the internet, before communication, before social media. Like they're stuck. They need something like Xbox Live. They need party chat. They need these devices to play with your friends that are simple. Like, it's just the little things like that I think that Nintendo needs to do to be competitive in this space. That said, like, everybody loves Nintendo games, but, I mean, they're buying the 3DS instead of a Wii U to play the Nintendo games. Like, that's how they're getting their Nintendo fix is 3DS. And I don't know. I just think Nintendo needs to get with the times, to be quite honest with you. Like, online infrastructure, online multiplayer, make their virtual console more robust, because that's where, like, the Wii got me, was the virtual console. Make it more robust, give us those classic games, make deals with third parties to get those games on the virtual console. Make the virtual console a subscription service, maybe, like PlayStation Now. I think that they could do a bunch of little things to make their console more appealing. I don't know if it's ever going to be anyone's primary console anymore, but that said, they can do a lot of little things to make it their secondary console, like someone's secondary console. So,
or at least a console everyone wants to have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a primary, but as long as everyone wants to at least have it and play it, that would be a step in the right direction, because the Wii U is not that. It's not one that people are like, I need to have this.
Yeah.
Like, I want to play this.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The Wii U has good games. Mario 3D World was really fun. Bayonetta 2 was a surprise. Pikmin 3 was great. The Wind Waker HD remake was really good. They fixed a lot of issues that the GameCube version had. But outside of these games, Mario Kart's the best Mario Kart, in my opinion, since probably the GameCube or N64 version. Smash has great DLC, but Nintendo's been leading on those pillars for so long that they were counting on those games to sell consoles and they didn't. So I think they need to do something new.
We definitely need to do something new. They need to do something different. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Okay, so our main topic, Star Wars. 2 days away. We got a lot of questions. What do you think is going to happen in Episode 7? What are your predictions for the future of the franchise? We had one question. Do you think Disney is giving us too much Star Wars too fast? Which we can get into later. But for now, what are your guys' predictions for Episode 7?
Well, from what you can kind of gather, and I talked about this with you earlier, what I think is going to kind of happen is that obviously Kylo Ren is a huge fan of Darth Vader, and he's clearly looking for relics. He's looking for his stuff. He wants to finish his work. So whatever you want to take that as, does that mean killing all the Jedi? I don't know what.
Death Star 3.
Death Star 3. He wants to continue. Well, they have something that's more powerful than the Death Star, they say. So we'll see what that is. But I think he wants to find his first lightsaber. And I think that is going to be a big part of the story, is them searching for that lightsaber. It looks like Finn somehow ends up with it. So, and that's going to be kind of the search for Luke Skywalker. That's how that's all going to play in. But it's going to, I think, in my opinion, that's what it's going to be a lot about, is searching for these relics. Most importantly, Luke Skywalker. Now, does he want to kill Luke? I don't know. Does he want to try to turn Luke to the dark side? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a big rumor going around, is that Luke's going to turn to the
biggest,
dark side.
Well, that he already is with the dark side. That seems a little too easy for me.
They can't do that to that character. Like
Seems
with the arc of the original trilogy, like he already went through that. He was testing the waters on the dark side and ended up coming out on the light side. Like they can't do that again after he already like prevailed over the
the two darkest dudes in the galaxy.
Like I mean they already tempted him and he beat that temptation and ended up on the light side, and like they can't just say, oh well, now he's the dark side. I just don't think they're gonna do that.
I don't think so either.
There's just no way.
It'd be way too. I don't know. It wouldn't fit. It wouldn't work because of how much they built him up to be. He conquered that. Like it wouldn't work. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about Luke because we haven't seen anything of Luke at all. He's been nowhere to be seen.
And I love that they've done that.
Yeah,
I think that is fantastic.
That has been something that's been a mystery to everyone because we have no idea where he is. We haven't even we haven't seen him. We don't know what he looks like. He could be some old crippled dude that we don't even that he could have just been forgotten. And
well, I think he's going to be like the hermit style, kind of like Obi-Wan was when we first came across him in A New Hope.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be something similar to that, but he's probably still a badass. I'm going to guess.
I'm going to guess he's even bigger badass than he was in Return of the Jedi. I'm just going to throw that out there. But
I mean, maybe he's building up an army of actual Jedi. Like, maybe he's somewhere doing that.
Like secretly training.
I just think it's great how they've done these trailers because they're they're showing you how good this movie could be, but they're not giving you away anything.
No.
Which, like, I know that we've talked about trailers on this show before. Some other movies could learn from this because I feel like
they
now
give everything away.
Trailers nowadays are awful.
Yeah.
It's just like, here's the movie, here's the plot.
The perfect example, Avengers 2. They showed the very final scene in the trailer where they were all protecting that thing in the middle, and like, okay, and like the Avengers is a different topic. All those villains are just so throwaway. Like it just doesn't even matter. But I think I really want to know how Rey and Finn are connected to Han, Leia, and Luke.
Well, there's a lot of speculation on Rey.
Yeah.
And who her parents are. True or not, that's another thing. Finn's another story.
Some people think that Rey and Kylo Ren are related. Like they're brother and sister.
I've heard how they're both.
They're the Solo twins.
Yeah, that they are the Solo twins. I don't know. I could see how Rey was their daughter. I mean, Kylo.
I wonder if like Kylo, like, okay, they were abandoned and like they were both abandoned after like whatever happened between Han and Leia. I feel like Rey and Kylo Ren are siblings. They were both abandoned on separate planets.
You think they would actually be abandoned though? I don't.
Or something happened to them. Like something happened to where they were lost.
Okay, I could. Okay.
Maybe not abandoned. Maybe abandoned. Maybe abandoned's the wrong word. Like
right,
they were lost.
I wouldn't. Like I could see maybe Han
like
doing
in some
that,
kind of battle.
but Leia,
I can totally see how I mean.
Those aren't mine. Kicks him out the doorway of the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah,
those aren't mine. But okay, abandoned was the wrong word. I think maybe like some battle happened and like they were babies and they were either kidnapped. Or, Leia was trying to save them, and she put them in an escape pod, and like
Superman.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
The movie's confused.
I mean, it could be like that, and like one person like knew a little bit about his lineage, and like Rey maybe knows a little bit. We don't know, and like one chose the dark side, and one chose, to be good. And maybe that's how that story comes together. I don't know. That's where I'm kind of coming from, where they don't really know each other. Like they know that the other one exists, but they don't know that that's who each other are, type deal.
I don't think they're going to be siblings.
I don't think they will.
I don't think they will be. And it'd be too kind of similar to like the Luke and Leia thing. That big reveal that, oh no, they're siblings. Like,
Are they gonna make out first?
yeah.
In this day and age, you probably shouldn't go with that. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then Finn is like the big question mark.
Yeah, who? I mean, it's like, who is Finn?
Who is Finn? He starts out as a stormtrooper, and then he's good. Like, I'm more interested about it.
Takes off his helmet, decides, I want to be a Jedi?
I don't think he's a Jedi. I don't think he knows how to use that lightsaber whatsoever.
You think he just has it in his hand?
Yeah, I think
he finds it.
I think he's the one that finds it, and
Okay.
I bet Rey is the one that becomes the Jedi.
I could see that.
See, that actually kind of makes sense. Well, you know what would be really messed up? What if Kylo Ren is the son of Luke and Leia, and they got a little freaky after the whole... Before they found out.
Did you see that?
He's the incest child.
Did you see that meme on the internet going around and says...
That's probably not a Disney movie, is it?
Some people think... Like, it says Kylo Ren's parents, and then it says, is Luke his dad? Is Leia his mom? And then the last picture is, why not both? And that's the image of Leia kissing Luke.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, boy.
But, like, I think that, like, Finn finds it. I bet he's, like, on Bespin or whatever, and he finds it and takes it with him and is looking for the owner of this lightsaber.
That's what I think.
And then I think...
It's going to be around that lightsaber and try and find Luke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think... And then, he finds Han, and then that's their adventures. They're going to go find Luke, and then, like, that's how they meet up with Leia, and, like, that's how it's going to go. And then
it's going to be like
they're kind of just going to travel through
the
the galaxy, gathering people along, and then at the end, it's going to be the whole entire crew back together again.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Mass Effect 2, but Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, you build your crew up, and then you go for the last mission. So it's going to be like finding.
Are they
Luke
gonna
Stop
mission.
the human reaper?
Are they going to have loyalty missions?
Yes, yes, probably. There's probably going to be loyalty missions. That would be great.
If you don't get there in time, then your whole entire crew is going to be dead. Yeah. Everyone will be gone, and
yeah.
And someone will not survive.
Who's not going to survive?
You didn't like what I thought. But
I mean, I don't think Han's going to die.
I think Chewbacca's going to die.
Oh, I don't think Chewbacca's going to die either.
Because everyone thinks Han's going to die because of how he feels about this movie, but...
I could see Han dying. I don't think Chewbacca would die.
No, here's what's going to happen. They're going to make it like, it's going to seem like Han's going to die, and they're going to play it out like it looks like it, and then Chewie, who owes him a life debt, is going to, like, take the hit. That's what I think. And then everyone will probably cry.
Or Leia,
I think Leia's going to bite
I
the
could
dust.
see Leia.
I thought Leia was already signed on.
Is she? I don't think so. I think she's only signed on for this one.
I thought she was signed on for another.
See, I feel like they wouldn't.
I could be wrong.
They wouldn't.
They shouldn't reveal stuff like that. But
yeah,
I feel like
who
I
signed
heard
on for more movies.
I feel like I heard somebody signed on.
Mark Hamill is the only one signed on for the next movie.
Maybe that's what I heard.
And he's already on set filming.
So
he does a ridiculously good job in The Flash.
Oh, as Trickster?
Yeah.
That was very random, but
no, because I just watched the episode last night, the newest one.
I'm not caught up.
I appreciate a lot of stuff he does, not just Star Wars, but like
his Joker.
He came back for the Christmas episode of The Flash.
Yeah,
he's the Trickster again in that.
Yeah,
he's creepy.
Yeah,
he's very. I mean, he's talented.
Yeah,
but I do think somebody is going to die. Like
I think
hero.
I think Leia's going to bite the dust. I think that's the one.
If I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Leia.
I don't know. Maybe none of them are going to die.
I'm going to go Chewbacca.
It's a Disney movie. None of them are going to die. They're all going to sing and dance at the end of the movie.
No, because it's a Disney movie. The mother has to die, so Leia's gone.
There you go. They do like to kill the moms off.
That's true.
So I guess that's it.
By that.
All right, we're going to get into our last question about Star Wars. Do you think Disney is giving us too much Star Wars too fast?
No.
I mean, they said they're going to release
Is that possible?
one movie a year for as long as they possibly can.
Do you think that we're getting too much like comic book heroes too fast? Like
yes.
I feel like that's getting shoved down my throat.
I do think we're getting way too many comic book movies.
But that's the only reason that's too fast is because it's so many different characters all coming at you from different directions all at the same time.
Plus, there's 3 companies trying to make movies. You got Warner Brothers with DC. You got Fox with X-Men and whatever the fuck they're doing with Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And then you got Marvel with their characters, and then like now Sony is trying to get back in it with Spider-Man, making the deal with the MCU stuff.
I'm just trying to use that as an example. I think that's
too much.
That's too fast. So I'm trying to say Star Wars. No,
once a year is not.
I mean, every other year it's going to be a proper episode, and then every other year it's going to be a spin-off movie.
Okay, then I think that's fine.
So
because
once a year is not
it
bad.
takes they have 2 years to completely do a whole proper, movie. And the spin-off ones, they can work on a completely side note from these, the main ones. So it's like they pretty much have 2 full years to do the proper ones, and then they can do whatever they want with these side ones. The side ones don't have to be that great because, they're going to be there's kind of side project. I mean, they'll probably still be good movies, but I'm just saying they don't have to live up to as great as expectations as the sequels. But
yeah,
I don't think that's, if they try to push out each like sequel number movie one a year, that might end up causing it to be like not as good of a movie. But
yeah, I'm really interested to see what Rogue One does. I'm really interested in that movie in particular, to be honest. I just think the whole X-Wing fighter pilot elite squadron going in to steal the Death Star plans is a cool movie. That said, I'm really concerned about the Han Solo movie. I was trying to avoid that. But
Yeah,
the
solo movie?
because Harrison Ford's look is so like iconic, and he is that character. You're gonna have to get somebody that looks like Harrison Ford to play that character.
It's going to be tough to pull off.
Nah,
I'm not saying that they can't do it.
Out of the list that they've said, I think Miles Teller is probably the best actor that's out of the list of actors. Is like, he looks like a young Harrison Ford, I think, a little bit. I think he's got the chops to imitate a young Han Solo.
It's tough. That's some big shoes to fill.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I'm not concerned about the proper episodes. I'm concerned about the spin-off movies outside of the proper episodes. But I don't know. Is there anything else you guys want to touch on before we head out?
as long as they don't bring Jar Jar Binks back anywhere.
They're not. I'm pretty sure.
Jar Jar not in episode 7, confirmed.
Confirmed.
Unless it's just like his skull somewhere,
Yeah, like his head on a stick.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be funny if Chewbacca was just wearing his skull as a necklace?
Yes, that would actually be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
I would enjoy that.
I would, it's the only way I want him brought back into a movie is to see him die.
All right, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching the DNA podcast. Remember, you can watch this video on our website and on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and share. Leave us a comment below and let us know how we're doing. You can also download the MP3 and the video off of iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Xbox Store, and YouTube. Just search the DNA Network. Please leave us feedback on those places. Let us know how we're doing. We want to improve the show every week. So make sure you check out all of our content on digitalnerdadvocates.com or on our YouTube page. Check our new DNA Network store on Redbubble. Check back for the latest gear. We are designing new shirts, new logos, stuff like that. So keep checking back. We got a pretty cool one revolving around this guy right here. It should be up in a couple days, so make sure you check that out. Follow us on Twitter at the DNA Network. Join all of our Facebook communities, and thank you for watching. And until next week, we're out.
Be fun if they did a whole entire raid challenge mode.
Yeah. Like beat it in under like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Whoa. That'd be crazy.
It'd be terrible for us though.
What I would like to see from challenge mode is for them to go back to the old raids and do challenges for those ones.
They could.
And like,
But I think in order to do that, they'd have to bring some of the gear from those raids up to.
I mean, they don't even have to do that. They could just put like a new mode. Like there's normal and hard, and then put like a light level recommendation, like a 290 light level recommendation, where you blow through the raids and like it has all year 2 gear. or something.
Yeah, I don't. And then it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's just tough to balance things right. Well, I guess it's not, because they're not that complicated. Vault of Glass and Crota.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be that hard, actually. They just have to get the health values right. And
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could do that, but...
And then where do you think the next expansion will take us? There's actually a rumor I read today. That
Neptune.
No, it's called
Jupiter.
Something. God, the Destiny 2 has a subtitle. Shattered Sun. Like, it's called Destiny 2 Shattered Sun. Is supposedly the next big release.
Like the sun exploded, or like sun S-O-N?
S-U-N.
Oh, so like the sun exploded.
Or are we going to a different, like, galaxy?
That would be nice.
Do we find a mass relay? Does it become Mass Effect?
Not the Reapers. Not the Reapers. Yeah, I think the Crusader was my second favorite character in Diablo.
That's why I started out as a wizard and played that through originally. Before they nerfed anything. That was a pain in the ass. Because when they originally came, they had the 4 difficulties you had to beat it through. Where they had it at the normal, nightmare, hell, and inferno. And you had to beat the first one to get to the second one to beat that.
They even had that for the console.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know when they released.
You couldn't move, and then like
because I knew
now they have the torment.
The torments where you could choose the difficulty at any point and change
which
it.
is nice.
Yeah, but when I first did it, it was like you had to beat it through all 4 times, and then the last one was so impossible that if you had the wrong legendary like enemies that you came across, you couldn't go anywhere. You were dead. You couldn't get past them. You couldn't, because like if they were teleporting and they had a point where there was invincible minions, to where you couldn't even kill the minions. You could only attack the main one, and then there was like certain ones that would just kill you instantly. So it was like they'd keep on you with the teleporting. You couldn't kill any of the minions, and then you just die instantly from anything they hit you with. Yeah,
I love when they do stuff like that.
Yeah, so they nerfed it eventually and made it so you could actually beat it. But it was like I got lucky and somehow got through it the first time. And
run away. That's the Demon Hunter motto. Run away. Vault away.
Wizards just teleport away.
Yep. I use teleport when I'm a wizard. What's your least favorite class?
Barbarian.
I hate the Barbarian. What a dumb class.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, I don't know. It's just too like simple to me, I guess. There's not. It's like
there's not a lot to them though.
You get buffs from getting angry, and then you just swing your axe or whatever.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like.
I'm gonna keep this for the end of the podcast.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be like a outtakes.
You'll probably play as the Barbarian when you get it. That'll be like your class.
Why?
It's easy.
That's what I like. I was thinking about starting the Crusader.
Crusader's badass.
Crusader's a lot of fun.
That's what I was thinking.
Because it's got like it's like a Holy Knight thing, so it's got kind of like magical abilities, but still the kind of like you're up in the face of like the enemies. And that.
Yeah, he's like a better version of the Barbarian. My guy's a little pussy, but I like him.
Gotcha.
Don't hate on the Demon Hunter. Put down my turrets. Vault away.
I'm not a big fan of the Witch Doctor either. I have a few friends who play a crap ton of the Witch Doctor.
I played as like a summon Witch Doctor. I had a lot of pets, but then at the same time you're not really doing a lot.
Right.
Like you would just summon your stuff and then just kind of like chill in the background, like blow your darts. No, I don't think I used the darts, but I like the Demon Hunter. I have a nice build for multi-shot.
Okay.
So it's the Unhallowed Essence is the armor. That's what it's called. And it's all based around multi-shot. Oh, okay. Pretty much.
Yeah, because I don't know did they change much with the Crusader since it came out?
The only time I played at him was to get because the last trophy I needed was get every single character to 70. So like I was only playing as like the Demon Hunter, and I think I had my hardcore character was the Wizard. Okay. I think that those were the only 2 that I had, and then I went through them all and just played it to the 70. So I don't know like how they had them before, but I enjoyed playing at them. But I didn't get to do like any sweet builds like how you have.
Yeah. I had There's one where you pretty much just threw a shield and it bounced like a million times because you.
I did use the shield. That thing was awesome.
Well, you would get a special shield called the Jekken board, and it splits into 6 projectiles after it hits the first enemy.
Oh wow!
So you would already get the one that bounced like multiple times.
Yeah, like the main one bounces.
Yeah, well, there was one that bounced like extra times. So you'd get this thing where you'd throw it, and then it would hit one enemy, and then bounce between like 12 people, like all around it a bunch. And they ended up nerfing it because it was too strong when it first came out, and then it was okay, but you had to have enemies around. If it was a single target, it took forever to kill anything.
Yeah.
And then, so that one became.
Well, you played it when you had like legendary gems and too, right?
Yeah.
You still played it?
Yeah.
Which legendary gem did you use? You probably used a different one than me.
I used the one with the Holy Smite. I don't remember what they're called.
I don't remember what that one's called, but I know exactly which one. It just like. Because once you get that like 25, it just like randomly smites an enemy.
Yeah.
Like every like 4 seconds.
Yeah, there was. Well, because I used 3 different ones because I had one in each one of my jewels or my jewelry pieces.
Right.
One of them did. I know I'd always switch out if I started running low on gold. The goblin one, where you every time you kill an enemy, there's a chance it'll explode in a bunch of gold.
Yeah.
I used that one quite a bit, and then there was. I can't remember the other ones.
I used because like mine's obviously different. Like I have the one that's like Bane of the Trapped, where
I think I did.
Enemies under like controlled effects take like a bunch of extra damage.
Yes, I did use that one.
It's a green one, and then I can't remember what the other one's called that I have in right now. And it's because mine is like as like the farther I am away from them, the more damage I do, and it stacks.
Okay.
I can't remember what that one's called, but as a demon hunter using a bow and arrow, like I just set up my turrets, and I have those set to chill, so they freeze everyone, and then I just multi-shot because like my multi-shot does like so much extra damage, it's retarded. It's fun, Corey.
Yeah. And so I went
That's why I got it for Christmas.
Yeah, I love that.
Shield, the throwing the shield build to the holy shotgun build. That was a very popular one in season 1, where it was pretty much you just ran around, and there's one ability where you call the beam of light from the sky and it kind of moves around.
Yeah.
Well, you can. There's one of the runes that changed it, so it shoots straight out from you in a direction.
I don't know if I remember.
And
I didn't
then
use that move too much. But I don't think I
you
ever
could
used
get
that rune.
a mace that made it so it shot in 3 instead of just 1. So what you would do is you'd have to get the full of the one Crusader set that reduced the cooldown of Akarat's Champion, and then you just pretty much had that up permanently, so your wrath never like depleted, and you just ran around and shooting everything with these beams of light.
That's cool.
So
I mean, it's called the shotgun. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Though.
You had to have the full set pretty much for any of the builds
and
later,
that's why I'm excited about these new sets. Like what are
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna like focus on yet, but I swear I'm pretty sure they said they were new. They call them dungeon sets though. I don't understand what that is. Like it's I don't know. So we'll see.
I think when I quit, the newest thing that was coming out was where they had like the legendary items. They were like this extra special legendary items. I never got any of those. So
they're not like I haven't gotten any like oh my goodness ones. Like I still use like the same one that I had before they came out with all these new ones.
All right.
Sorry.
I'm just listening.
It's because you don't play the game.
I'm sorry. I'm going to.